Welcome! In the name of our eternally reigning Majesty King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Tables. I am obliged to inform you that fighting those who actively break the law and reject the rule of the crown is the duty and pride of every subject. Who actively break the law and reject the rule of the As Camelot's representative, I will be paying a bounty of 10 gold pieces for the death of each bandit roving the area, as long as adequate proof is provided. I also recommend checking the bounty board for information on wanted criminals, especially those considered particularly dangerous. Please, state your business. That's correct. My name is Gillian. I was sent here from the capital to see how the Horns of the South are handling the bandit problem, and also to encourage the keepers to fight. The situation with the Pict and Del Rita savages is precarious. Too bad we can't get rid of them as easily as we did with the Druids. There have also been rumors that we might soon have a civil war on our hands, so Camelot cannot afford to spread our forces too thin. There are rumors that the Rita tribes want to unite, and that would mean open war with Camelot. As for those Pict savages, they've been growing bold, leaving their forest. For now, it's just been small scrimmages, but who knows how it would end. Well, you've probably heard about the Druids making human sacrifices by stuffing people into wicker puppets and setting them on fire. Well, the people decided to give them a taste of their own medicine. They rounded them all up and then sent them up in smoke. Oh, how they must have howled and sizzled. Too bad I couldn't see it. Yep, made human sacrifices, prayed to the dark gods, brought the weirdness back. Bunch of bastards. Good thing they're worm food now. Most of them, the survivors have supposedly taken refuge with savages in the woods. And one of them is rumored to be hiding in the Horns area. But whether that was before or after the Charred Conclave, I don't know. Would you like to hear? His name was Slaudyard. He was lurking near Blood Lake, a small pond where they used to throw the bodies of executed convicts. They say he would fish them out and use his magic to turn them into undead monsters. Supposedly, he started needing some fresher corpses, so he slaughtered one of the keepers. The Horns organized a manhunt. They found him and sentenced him to death. People say that the moment his body touched the surface of Blood Lake, the water turned red and it's been scarred since that day. Some say that Slaughterjarg came back from the dead and seeks revenge. But if you ask me, it's just a tale by... I don't really have much more to tell. It's hard to get any updates here. I only know that the new Lancelot has not been very popular, and that's putting it mildly. The Witch Morgaine would have been burnt at the stake long ago if everyone weren't so afraid of her. And then we have the commoners who seem to keep forgetting their place and loudly demanding changes. None so far. The keepers don't want to risk being turned into pincushions for a mere... Besides, the captain banned them from leaving the Horns of the South without a good reason. Too many bandits and not enough keepers. Oh, you have no... When I heard they were sending me south, to the very place that's crawling with bandits and barbarians from the tribes, I imagine I'd be a little closer to the action, you know? Fighting, gushing blood, screams and such like. I thought the veterans would be showing me their scars and stumps and telling me tales of how they lost their eyes, ears, or even better, how they were ripping open throats and bellies. Instead, the only stories I hear are when those fools break their own legs when they get drunk and fall off the walls. I could be, but many people can swing a sword, but only a few have as sharp and bright a mind as I do. It's just that some people were made for fighting, while others are destined for greater things. Besides, watching and listening gives me enough satisfaction without needing to risk my life. Yeah, I've been like this since I was a child. The moment an execution is over, I'm waiting for the next one. And there are quite a lot of them in Camelot, and I like to watch where Mum punished the servants with a whipping. It's just how I am. Well, Camelot would send a group of knights with Sir Galahad at the head, and he's not interested in half measures. He'd probably burn down half the garrison, or hang them. He's done both. By the way, did you know that people who are hanged rarely die from strangulation? Usually the sudden jolt causes the backbone to snap, which separates the head from the body. A while ago I saw someone hanged in the village, and it's true. One snap, and it's... No matter what you say about him, he's very efficient. Brutal, even by my standards. Oh, sure, plenty. Did you know that apparently if you cut off someone's head, they don't die straight away, but remain conscious for a few moments? If someone dies in a damp, closed-off space, sometimes, but very rarely, their body creates a thin layer of wax on the surface of the skin. I heard that a body decomposes in water 4 times faster than on land. I need to think. If I remember anything, I'll let you know. Oh, someone finally checked out the notices I was posting on the board. Go, the hunter waits. Oh, hey, before you go, I can see the bloodlust in your eyes, you know. It takes one to know one. So here's some friendly advice. If you're seeking scum to slay, you'll find bandits in the ruins of a merchant settlement nearby. It's worth visiting if you haven't already.
¿Dónde está el tablón? ¿Este es el tablón?
A new face. It's always nice to see someone new here. Welcome. Yes, my apologies. Ever since breakfast today, I've been sort of lost in thought. I keep thinking of my... You see, all we got here is venison and fish. Venison, then fish. And then fish. I can live with all the bullshit that's thrown at us soldiers. But the longer I live, the more I realize there's... And I'd kill for a sign. As if it were that easy. I ain't much of a cook. And Rorik, the one we have here, well, he says we're soldiers, so we can stick our complaints up our asses. Really? Sure, I remember.
¿Necesito qué? Harina. Vale, necesito huevos. Ok.
Are you here to keep me company or put me out of my misery? Just kidding. Love the view, but this... always windy. You don't say. I didn't choose to be here. Our beloved quartermaster sent me to freeze my arse off. He said as punishment for spitting on the good name of the keepers. Whatever the hell that... I just got drunk in the tavern and lost half my pay. And maybe some of my... But I mean, why would he even care? It was my gold. I can spend it out... Oh, aye. I need a warm coat. And I mean the... Osprey might have something in stock or know how to make one. I'd ask myself, but he's not exactly speaking with me these days. Stupid. That's what I was. I may or may not have commented on our black... I gave him a blade to sharpen, and when I got it back, it was still dull. Osprey swore he did his job properly. I said he's getting so on and so forth until it turned out that my mate had played a trick on me, swapped my sword with another one that was as dull as a stump. I tried to make amends with Osprey, but the old man's pride is as stiff as his steel. Now, here I am, frozen to the bone and in need of a... Oh, come on, can't you see I'm freezing? Who in their right mind orders someone with bad joints to patrol the walls in... Thanks.
Vale, tengo el huevo.
Hey. Listen, I'm no good with words. She's learning how to read and write. Can you believe it? She writes letters. To me. They always make fun of me for not knowing how to read. And Enid is still learning. I don't want them to make stupid... I know our village is in the arse end of nowhere, but it's not our fault no one ever gave a shit about it. At least now think maybe my sister will have a better future. Ah, thanks.
Espera.
And what does this... No, you must have misunderstood. What do I do now? I don't know. I should go back to him. I guess. Yes.
No sé si he hecho bien o he hecho... El... Ah, que cayó sobre la paja y no me hace daño.
Yes. Still tastes exactly how my mother would make it. Oh, don't get me wrong. I really, it's just that every time I doubt my service in the Horns of the South, I need a reminder of why I enlisted. My mother wasn't much of anything, to tell the truth. She always said I was good for nothing and that I should be glad she even... And every day she'd bring back home a new uncle. Many of those uncles like to kick me out of my own house when they were drinking and getting busy. Then, when she'd sober up and got rid of an uncle, she'd bake me that pie as an apology. If the other villagers hadn't been feeding me, I would have starved to death. Hence the pie. I wouldn't know. When I left my village, I decided to never look back. So I just assumed one of those uncles finally beat her to death.
Joder.
Always good to have a little rest.
Claro, si es de noche ya, ¿no?
Let me guess. Camelot, no? Timberwall, also no?
You must be from Quanacht. I should have guessed right away. So, who's in charge there now?
Oh, I was just wondering what's going on out there. Here in the south, we have our own affairs. What happens out there in the world? Well, the news doesn't always travel.
And they should. It's in our common interest.
You know, people are talking about rising unrest in the north, and a secret coalition preparing a coup at the highest levels of power. And that whole plague thing is just a tool to reach their final goal. The Red Priests are also trying to get something.
And to be honest, it's not gone too bad for them. The Druids are out of the picture already.
Well, sure. They want to establish a new order on our island. And it's not clear who's involved in the whole...
Maybe. Maybe our captain is even involved. Hell knows. They have their people everywhere. Although when I look at you, I don't think so. You have such a stupid...
That's the case. Those sons of bitches are good at hiding. They kinda blend in and live among us. It's hard to tell if it's hideous magic or some other tricks.
Wait a minute. I'm not suggesting anything here. I'm just thinking...
It doesn't make sense that the plague appeared just like that. Out of bloody nowhere? Hell no. It's...
Power over us, of course. Over our bodies and souls. Over Avalon. Over the whole damn course of his...
You see? It takes one to know one. And that means we're just pawns. Folks like us won't change anything. But we have to talk out loud. It suits them when everyone keeps their mouth shut.
You know, I've been thinking lately. What if King Arthur is just a stupid fairy tale? What if the nobles and others involved in the whole conspiracy just made him up? And us peasants eventually...
You know, one story for everyone. They drilled it into our heads, and drilled until it finally stuck. And then they built statues, wrote books, and everything else.
Yeah? Don't tell me you're one of those fools that think that the All-Mother exists. Have you ever seen her?
Exactly. But maybe one day you'll see the truth.
No sé si eres imbécil.
Please, state your business. Go chop.
Voy a dormir. Yo que duermo aquí en la mugre.
Hope nothing bad happens today. Always a pleasure to see you. Boy, friend, a question. Do you know why people always stop and watch a blacksmith at... Because he's riveting. Oh, of course. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Osbert, local master of hammers and anvils. Ha! Friend, I wish. But the only task I could use help with might be a bit... Unless you're a master goldsmith, then feel free to prove it. And I'll have... There's just not enough of them to go around. And now that we're on lockdown, there's not much demand. Listen, I said I don't have any jobs, as in things I'd pay you for doing. That doesn't mean I can't teach you a thing or two. If you're willing to learn, that is. The truth is, I don't really need an apprentice. But if you're keen to learn, the real payment's in the skills. A trade like this... Since you're free to wander about while I'm stuck in the keep, maybe we can make good use of that. You've probably bashed in the skull of a beast or two, right? The alchemists. They're likely snatching up the corpses, using the muck to cook their weird concoct. But perhaps you'd rather craft yourself some. We should start with something simple. I'll give you some notes on how to make armor. You gather the materials and get to work. And when you're done, you could bring it over so I can see what you've... Huh. It's for Dan, isn't it? That ungrateful bastard. Disagreement? Sure, you could call it that, but since Dan is on the wall and I'm here, I couldn't tell him that I get it. The prank and all. And I forgave him a long time ago. And now that I think about it, it was... Well, he was right. I am old, but inefficient, stung a little bit. After all, I did my job well, and well, I may not be angry with him anymore, but that doesn't mean I'll work my ass off so that his doesn't freeze. Here's an explanation of how to make it. Feel free to help him out yourself. Not really. Especially since we went into... People used to come and go. Now and then a ship would make a stop at the village below, but nobody's really come around since. Now that I think of it, you're the first they've let in. What'd you do? Oh, so you have friends. Of course, those pins are peak craftsmanship, and very rare at that. We only gave them out on Camelot's orders. But when I look, well, it's pretty obvious you wouldn't be able to beat a knight. And even if you found one already dead, you'd sooner nick his armor than a pin you knew nothing about. Either way, good for you. Yeah, after we lost 2 squads trying to take back the All-Mother's Temple from the Dalrita, our captain decided that nobody leaves the Horns. Then he shut himself in his office, without leaving us any orders. Virgus is trying to keep the lads occupied, but... just look around. Half of the people here are losing their minds, and the rest are losing... Sometimes I wonder, how many things can go wrong at the same time. They say that misery loves company, but here, it's like we've done something to anger the gods, and they're taking their sweet revenge. First, we started hearing that the weirdness was spreading near Grubwood. Soon after that, we saw waves of bandits approaching desperate people. It took a lot of... Then, the Dalrita tribes took over the All-Mother's Temple. And after that, the supply chains from Camelot, and so on and so forth. We're in quite a pickle, my friend. We've started betting on what's going to happen next. Sea monsters? Yes, that damn forest north of here was already cursed and creepy. But now, I've heard it's an entirely different level of crazy. They say that some men here started going dark up north. With that, the weirdness started moving. And when the weirdness gets here, well, we're fucked. But truth be told, most of them are just people desperate to... When the villages started dying out because of the weirdness, hunger, or raids, they lost their livelihoods, ended up with nothing to their... So they banded together and started raiding whatever was left. Then they turned to killing each other. They're like rabid wolves. Too bad they're here. That's... I don't know. It's hard to explain. They kept to themselves. Then something happened, and suddenly we saw ships arriving near our eastern shores. A couple days later, the tribes took over. One good thing is that the bandits aren't up to fighting with them. One bad thing. I heard that dew fell down the stairs and didn't break a single bone. So that's a start.
I like it when things are quiet.
Oi, Fred, because he's riveted. Oh. Ha! Unless... Listen. Snubbing... Well then, if you're so fond of coins, how about this? I'll teach you. You want to swing a hammer in my forge, you're going to have to part with a bit of that shiny gold you love so much. I like a good joke, but this isn't one of them. I offered it for free, and let me be very clear. I don't need someone to do my work for me, but if... Your choice, come... Always good to have a little rest. Boy, because... Oh! Ha! Unless... Listen. Since you're free to wander about while I'm stuck in the keep, maybe you've probably bashed in, but perhaps you'd rather craft yourself... We should start with something simple. I'll give you some notes on how to make armor. You gather the materials... Huh. Disagree, and I forget... Well, here's an explanation of how to make it. Feel free to help... Now... Oh! But, well, either... That... That and... And... Twin... Then one...
Oh, thank you, friend. Let me repay your kindness. Even though I don't have much, I can at least tell you about something. See those rocks near the shore? When it gets dark, sometimes I see a light. A bandit camp this close to the Horns? Impossible. The Daliata? No way. They wouldn't hide like that. It's probably nothing, but maybe you could find something interesting. Fair enough. Here, have this potion. It helps me with my pain, so...
Sometimes it's nice to just sit and think. You doing okay? Hope nothing bad happens today.
do you think of scale armor? Scale armor. What do you think of it? The ones all the keep. Sure, maybe it's easy to make and doesn't restrict movement, but it doesn't provide the best protection. Someone just needs to stab you between the scales and you're done for. The melee armor is much better. That will prevent you from being run through with a polearm or getting shot with a bow. It's also much more comfortable. I read a lot about it. In Volume 4 of the Armourer's Almanac, Arden's Shadowblade describes the differences between various... For example, chainmail allows for a good range of movement, but it's heavy. It also provides poor protection against blunt weapons, and its production is laborious. No, but I have knowledge from books and a lot of thoughts on the subject, so I know what it would be like to wear different armor. Shadowblade is a moniker. Arden is passionate about weapons and armor. He has great knowledge of materials, techniques, and history. A true expert. Everything he writes is interesting. I would love to meet him one day. I told them, but they both said I know jack shit. Besides, the keepers rarely go outside the walls nowadays. Then the quartermaster added that if I don't like our equipment, he could send me out scouting in just my underwear. Perhaps you're right. But if somebody ever stabs me under the scales, I'll go straight to the quartermaster and give him an earful. Oh, of course. I mean, I've never made one. I'm not an armourer. But I've read so much about it that I'm sure it... Here's the page from the Armourer's Almanac that explains the process.
Blessings upon you, stranger. May the... As prepared as any men can be against something they barely understand. The swords and fire will hold back beasts, but what of the creeping rot that twists flesh and mind alike? But there is one thing. The Excalibur they keep here. It has not been wielded in an age, yet the weird does... Well, even as it rests upon its pedestal, the air around it remains untouched. The tendrils of corruption that strangle stone and steel refuse to claim it. The Keepers may not see it for what it is, but I do. There is power in that blade. Something, and if it truly holds back the weirdness, then perhaps it was never meant for men alone. Safe? No. But safe. But tell me, what is safety, truly? A stronghold? A weapon? So no, I do not feel safe. But I do feel watched. It's a sickness, a corruption, but also many of my brothers would call it a curse, a stain upon Avalon that... And yet, I wonder, did Kai not teach us that all things have a purpose? The weirdness twists and warps, yes. It consumes, and it takes. But life grows in its wake, strange and terrible, but life all the same. If we are to fight it, we must... And that is what frightens the Church most of all. What do you mean, my... Not much, unfortunately. I was sent to serve in the Horns of the South. I only know that many brothers dream of joining the research team working in the... But I am surprised you know about them. The brothers wouldn't allow... well... That's commendable. Keep it up. The Prophet values those who know their place in the world. I'm afraid you are attributing too many characteristics to me based solely on the Horns of the South are my home. My mission is to spread the word. I'm afraid that I simply cannot believe your blasphemous words without proof. So it's your word against the word. Certainly. Kai's blessings know no bounds, but sometimes it's useful to seal them in a handy... May Kai's word, blessings of... May Kai...
Sir, I haven't seen you before. I wasn't expecting any guests, and you don't look like a new recruit. And yet, Odrin let you in. He's not most unfortunate, but that explains why you just strutted into the Horns. I'm afraid I'll have to take action. The name's Fergus, and I assume you already know I'm the quartermaster here. Now state your business, and please try to be convincing, or the walls of this fortress will be the last thing you'll ever see. Yes, I know. and that's why you're still standing in front of me. However, these pens were only given to... They mean that in times of trouble, these people will always find a safe haven here in the hall. That makes me wonder, what happened to your friend? If what you're saying is true, he must have had a deal with somebody well above my pay grade, and that leaves only the... However, if you're lying, then you might as well have just confessed to the murder of a Knight of the Round Table. But nobody's that much of a fool, I think. Fortunately for you, I've seen my fair share of morons in life, and fortunately for me, this pen only means that I'm to make sure you're safe in the Horns. Nothing about helping you out with whatever you're up to. Anyway, welcome to the Horns of the South. We've been having trouble with the dead lately. The kind that don't want to rest. There are more and more of them roaming the area. It might just be the weirdness, as it has been steadily creeping closer from the north. But somehow... Anyway, I suggest you go see Marg first. He knows best what's going on. He's our huntsman. He keeps us stocked with meat, so the lads don't have to live on fish alone. They get pretty grumpy when that happens. Right now, Marg is the only other person who's allowed to leave the keep. I'm not about to risk the life of our last link to the outside world, especially when you're so eager to lend a hand. There is a local legend about a dark druid named Slaughter, that was it. He was a necromancer rumored to be able to raise the dead and make them do his bidding. It's quite an old legend, though, so unless he managed to raise himself from the dead, I doubt he's behind this. It's old. From what I've heard, it even predates the Horns of the South. The keepers and the people from the village below used to bury their dead there, but after the flood, it's been... Yeah, damn druids. They flooded a village of innocent people just to show everyone they're still in power. I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad we got rid of them. The thing... It's not far, and it's hard to miss. But honestly, I'd suggest you go see Marg first. You don't really know what you're walking into, so if I were you, I'd try to learn as much as possible beforehand. The captain forbade anyone from leaving the keep, so I couldn't. And truth be told, I didn't particularly want to. We don't... Sure, let's go with that. Good. Try not to get yourself killed, and get rid of whatever's been causing the problem. Yes? Why not? Just as I thought. If you have friends among the knights, you'll want to talk to the captain. Because I said so. What? Did you really expect that you could just enter our keep and head... There wouldn't be much point in having walls and guards here if anyone could just do that, would there? And have you helped any of my people? Or are you just here to wave that pen in my face again? First, show me you care, and then I'll take you to the captain. I can't have every random stray wasting his time. Not now, when the outcome of the war with its tribes is... I trust we understand it. Good. Come back when you've proven your worth to the Horns of the South. So what? No, I don't take bribes. But if you're eager to throw your gold around, my keepers are running a charity for our veterans. That way, your coin pouch won't weigh you down, and you'll be supporting... That's a shame. In that case, why not help them with your own two hands? I might look more favorably on you after... Ninian. I knew the Red Death would take him. Damn, you did right bringing this back. The Horns look after their own, even after they're gone. But, now that I think of it, how did you manage... Tortured? In the asylum? You can't expect me to take that. Brother Riagan said Ninian was too weak to survive the journey. They came for him, and we even held a symbolic keeper's burial for him. And what were you doing? You look fine, but if you were there, near him... I honestly think your sense of humor is the worst, but I have to respect your unwillingness to share. Still, you have to understand, now that you've told me this, I'll be keeping it. No risks can be taken when it comes to the Red Death. Excalibur. You want to pull it out? Well, be my guest. But unless you're King Arthur reborn, I wouldn't count on it. That's one of our tags. Every soldier gets one. I just hope the body you took it from was already cold, because killing a keeper would land you in some... You know, here's what I'm thinking. If you stumble over any of our fallen keepers out there, sure, they all swore to stay here until the bitter end, but they have families who deserve to know what... It's part of my duty. But since I can't send any more beyond these walls, maybe you could lend a hand. I'm Captain Brandon's right hand. He deals with the serious matters I don't want to know anything about. I take care of our... Fine then. This is the keep. Anyone sworn in as a keeper lives here, unless they're no longer fit for service. If that happens, otherwise, they're not allowed to go there without my express permission. So if you ever see any of my boys down there looking shifty, feel free to report them. You're allowed to walk around the keep and the village. But if anyone catches you stealing, I'll take your hands. If you attack any of my men, I'll take your head. That's between her and the captain. Were it up to me, she'd be long gone. Her presence here distracts my men. He's not our first line of defense. The archers are. Every man here needs to have a job, and no offense to Odrin, but let's just say we can afford to lose him. I'm sure the hordes of visitors clamoring at our gates can survive the insult. It used to belong to the keep. You could say it was its beating heart. That village was where our lighthouses led the ships. Ah, those must have been the days. But then the ships stopped coming, and there were less and less new keepers, and the others left until, at last, What else was there to do? There weren't enough people to live there, and nobody wanted to anyway. Not since the monsters started coming out of the sea. We wiped out most of them, but new ones showed up every now and then. Marg, our hunter, keeps an eye. Depends on your idea of interesting. There's a weird statue with a gong, but I'm not sure how much of it is left. I don't know. Ask Marg. I'm pretty sure he just sits there all day instead of hunting. No wonder we've been eating nothing but fish. If you need...
If you're here to see the healer, don't bother. He's a quack and a butcher who likes to watch people's... I came to him with a toothache, asked him to make me something for the pain, and you know, he said my tooth is rotten, and then sent me to Osbrit to get it pulled out. That, and I wouldn't trust him anywhere near my mouth. Don't get me wrong, Osbrit's a decent blacksmith, but he's no good with teeth. With one lad, it took him 3 tries before he got the right one. I'll stick to my grandma's potion for toothache. Or I would, if Heber would stop being such a dick and make it for me.
Heber took the recipe from me. And even if I had the recipe, I'm no good at...
Said if I don't know how to make it, I shouldn't have it. And that he doesn't want some questionable homebrew medicine spreading through the... He says it's no good. Says that if I don't get the tooth pulled out, it'll keep hurting. I told him that's why I need the remedy, to make it stop hurting. But it's like talking to a brick wall. You will? Oh, you're a lifesaver. Tooth saver, yeah? Don't worry, I'll give you something very special if you bring me that remedy.
Oh, sorry. Do I know you? I'm terrible with faces. I'm Jan Heber, a physician raised in Camelot and trained in the Royal Academy. Why would you, though? Don't you have better things? Aha, got it. So you're up for work not out of the goodness of your heart, but for your own self... Good point. That is but all right. If you're a mercenary, then I do have a job for someone who'd be willing to risk their life in exchange for material goods. Straight to the point, eh? All right. I need someone to perform a ritual within a stone circle nearby. You go there, read a spell, do whatever needs to be done, come back and tell me... Lanzo knows very well what he must do. I'm sorry, but there's nothing else I can do for him. Either he removes... He's not dying! He has a toothache, for crying out loud. A physician's duty is to treat an illness, not... Of course, I could give him something to ease the pain, but there's no point if he doesn't get rid of the underlying cause. Yes, his grandma's miracle medicine. I honestly don't have time for... I had to confiscate the recipe as well, lest he tries making it himself. As if I don't have enough problems already. Times in the keep are tough. Everyone is either bored or restless. Honestly, the last thing I need is people poisoning themselves with some unknown potion they don't even have the qualification... No, I thought I made myself clear. If you want an excuse to drink yourself to oblivion on moonshine, just drink the moonshine. No need to add other potentially dangerous ingredients. Well, to be fair, the base recipe is pretty harmless. But what if someone decides that if they don't have carnation, it's perfectly fine to substitute it with Devil's Snare, since the color is more or less the same? Or Sage with Wolfsbane, because, you know, leaves are leaves. I'm sorry, but unfortunately I know these people well enough not to trust them with something like this. What? How do you... You know what? Fine. Do whatever you want. But if it causes you to shit yourself for 3 days straight, don't come... In Camelot, maybe. But this far south? No. I've spent my entire life digging through scrolls and books in pursuit of their knowledge. I've been reading about their rites and the descriptions of their rituals. Look, I'm sure they were onto something. They knew much more than we do, but it feels like there's a veil wrapped tight tightly around that. It's like I need to find the right spell, the right ritual, something that will... Is some local witchcraft I've been trying to make sense of. I guess I'll find out when I try it. Experience is the best teacher. Don't worry, I'm not testing anything on the others. Graham the Mad, a great Camelotian physician, used to say that a real doctor would never give his patients something he hadn't tried on himself first. A wise approach, which I follow myself. What irony. The pursuit of knowledge is always dangerous. That's why it's reserved for only the bravest. It takes true guts to face the unknown, to realize just how little you know, and how... Oh, that was unexpected. Here, take it. What will happen, I have no idea, but please, tell me, if you... I was classically trained in the proper art of medicine by the scholars of Camelot. The things they do here, they make no sense. No sense at all. Most of this stuff shouldn't even be effective, yet it seems to work wonders on these simple-minded, tough-bodied people here in the south. Shipments from Camelot are late, so I'm running low on supplies. If I'm not able to treat them, they'll start complaining. And Fergus doesn't like when people complain, especially when it comes to their health. He truly cares about them, I've got to admit. He doesn't care much about anyone else. I don't dream about anything anymore, so sleep feels like a waste of precious time. Fortunately, back in Camelot, I found a mix of remedies that can keep me awake for a whole week. It was quite popular in our study group. Oh no, every physician needs his secrets. But I can sell you some if you promise not to tell any of the high... There are... You won't fall asleep for a while, but the moment you do, well, you'll feel like you died and came back to life, only to die again. So you either take the next dose, or I can endure it because I don't have a post to attend to. But our brave soldiers, well, that'd be risky. Well, they already trust my word, and I'll be sure to deny everything. Moreover, I'm in the position to raise my prices or to refuse to sell you medicine, whichever suits my mood. I'm honestly quite offended you're even asking. Healing diseases, sometimes cutting people open. Oh, and pulling out teeth seems to be a leading cause of concern. Me pulling teeth in the arse end of the world? My friends back in Camelot would laugh their...
Ah, you're back! Thank you! Ah, I'll finally be able to eat something. Here, take this as my thanks.
What do you want?
You all right, newbie? Have you been to see the refugees? I can't believe poor Cole. Hey, Cole came to us with a group of refugees from some nearby villages. They were looking for shelter from, well, bandits, the weirdness, the Del Reader, hunger. You'll meet them in the village. They live in the buildings up high. Not long ago, though, Cole started acting very strange, erratic, sometimes even aggressive. He might have used too much force, and Cole felt compelled to defend himself. He bit old Mahon. And since, frankly, I think Mahon brought it on himself. They shouldn't have put that poor man in a cage. Wait, if you ever meet Patrice, I know it's not much, but I'd like her to know she's not alone. I support her and the other refugees. And I'm sure there are...
Good to see you again. The pledge today was very interesting, wasn't it? The certainty in Quartermaster Aymer's voice. Beautiful. Makes one eager. So, what do you need this time? The pass again? Are we planning a trip to the Stale Lamb? Hey, not this time, my friend. I've run out of ink. I'm waiting for a delivery. Steward Orla will let me know when more arrives. In the meantime, I need to ask you for a favor. So... you do know it needs to stay between us. Do you understand? Say you understand. Fantastic. So, on a recent night out at Wrong's, it seems I may have left some sensitive documents at the bar. Documents, with Captain Fergus' seal. But not necessarily sealed by him. You know what I mean. I can't really go there right now. Could you get them back for me? I'm sure it won't be too much of a problem. Splendid! When you have the documents, meet me at the third crowing of the rooster. Or just find me. I'll be around. You're back!
This feeling, it was so strong, so real. I remember now, this blade was never just steel. Yes, the sensation, but it carries more than my soul. A sword like that, it doesn't yield. You'll need to grow stronger before it will.
Welcome to the Museum of the Horns of... My name is Ridderick, and I will be happy to introduce you to the rich. I'd also like to bring your attention to our numerous exhibits that are... It began in the year 542. It took them years of tremendous effort to finally open an institution devoted to research and education, worthy of commemorating Sewell's great legacy. I don't doubt it, since Sewell Firstfoot was a remarkable figure. Drawing on available sources, we can claim with almost absolute certainty that Sewell Firstfoot was the first man. As you can probably guess, that's where his moniker, First... Oh, of course. Sewell was an outstanding commander whose strategic mind, bravery, and charisma. He was also the founder of the Horns of the South, so I can say with absolute conviction that if it were not for Sewell... The museum holds a collection of 72 items of the so-called movable... The collection includes big and small items that represent the world surrounding the keepers of the Horns of the South. From here you will find militaria, craft tools, everyday objects, I'd say all exhibits are worthy of your attention, but I could point you to the ones I personally think to be the most notable. Those would be the items that used to belong to Sewell Firstfoot. We have his signal horn, and also his... What is also worth mentioning is the tableware used by King Arthur himself during his visit to the Horns of the South in the 15th year. Yes, it's remarkable, isn't it? Sewell's boots were sewn from 3 pieces of tanned calfskin, tied at the top with a leather strap. The seam... On the outer side of each shoe, you can find a decorative brass buckle with the motif of the Camelotian bear. It is notable that even after 600 years, they are still excellently preserved, it means that even the keepers of that time must have realized the historical value of Sewell's boots, and therefore it is indeed. The horn was used by Sewell during wartime, not only for signaling, but also for intimidation. It is 50 centimeters long and made of the horn of an ox. It has a brass mouthpiece and silver fittings on its wider side and at the middle. The shape of the fittings suggests that the horn was hanging on a leather strap, which unfortunately has not survived to this day. It's a memento of the visit of the... The tableware is made of tin coated with silver. It consists of a plate, a bowl, and a chalice. The edges are decorated with that detail, and the fact that those are the only wares from that time that have survived to this day, leads us to conclude that this set was cast specifically for that occasion, and that it was finished by a person unfamiliar with this kind of craft. Truly? I never... What do they teach you in those rural schools? Likely nothing. But you are fortunate, for I never refuse access to Saras. The flagship of King Arthur's fleet was an exceptionally impressive a group of unfortunate individuals misled by the empty promises of and several smaller vessels also all of this in the midst of wartime. Naturally, such treason could not. King Arthur ordered Merlin to summon a terrible storm, that he did so to prevent anyone else from... He wisely believed that returning to their homelands amounted to little more than a romanticized honor and glory. Had more people followed the rebels' example, Avalon would not have retained enough population to... Really? Do you mean it? Usually people only come here when they've had too much to drink and decided that it'd be fun to come over and start mocking me, or touching the exhibits with their greasy finger. The last person who seemed to actually be interested in the museum was Lady Elaine. We talked a bit about Captain Lex and the trip that ended tragically in the... It was described in The Last Voyage of the Andraste. An interesting read, although I'd say it should be classified as fiction, Lady... Definitely. Personally, I believe that people gifted with curious minds should share their observations, for there's always a chance it will result in new... You should find Lady Elaine in the tavern, or somewhere close to it.
You? Shit. Another mouth to feed. Fergus must have been off his rocker if he thinks I can feed every... I'm serious. If we don't open the keep soon, we'll have to start... Not that I can't cook them in a way that makes you think it's chicken. It's a good thing you didn't start with calm down, or I'd have shoved my cleaver up your arse. Yeah, I'm pissed off. Because our gracious sovereigns recently decided to let in a bunch of refugees from the villages. They say they're running from the weirdness, but who knows? So now I had even more hungry mouths to feed. And since the captain ordered the letdown of our keep, the supplies are dwindling a lot faster than I'd like. Of course, I can make you 1,000 different dishes based on fish and grouts. But come on, even the keepers need some variety in their lives. Well, an adventurer are you? I'm good for now, but if you find something interesting, and as a sign of goodwill, I'll allow you free reign of my kitchen. If you... Oh, this is new. Maybe we'll get along after all. The dimwits here never...
Oh, you're trying to piss me off, aren't you? If you don't like my food, then... In the fishing village. That's where the guards retire, to sit on their asses and fart. Or sit fart, and drink themselves into a... Hell no. I'd rather stay useful here and drop dead at my stove than waste space over there. If someone's still fit to work but chooses to laze around all day instead, they should be kicked out, not rewarded with freebies.
What do you need? This is a prison, not at least that's what they tell me to say. I'm supposed to be intimidating. Grrr. So usually it's nothing but interesting folks. I'm telling you, in these crazy spots right now, quiet as can be. Good thing I've got my books. All because I asked for this post. Just to get some peace, no useless small talk, no shrieking seagulls, and none of that cursed biting wind. I'm telling you, and I get to read my books too. So if you've got anything interesting...
Who are you? I am. They told me it's for my safety, and this, I don't like it. The keep is supposed to be my home, and yet here I am, locked. That cursed madman from the refugee group bit me. The boys told me he's locked up in a cage now. Good. That's the proper place for animals like him. By the All-Mother, if I'd known he was carrying some foul disease, I wouldn't have gone near them. He's just mad. I told the others the group of refugees, and as you can see, I wasn't wrong. Cursed. Damned if I know. Whenever I've had a fever or cold before, I could always explain it. But this, I can't find the words. Sometimes it feels like I'm fading away, like the part of me that makes me who I am is disappearing. And there's a voice at times, like a dreadful howl. Not at all human, that's for sure. At times, I hear our words within it. But more often, it's like a noise from deep, like something. The medic and that red priest both came to see me. Both shrugged, offering no cure. Heba says, but if you've got anything stronger to drink, I wouldn't say no. It might ease the pain, even just for a little. Thanks. That's right. Hold fast.
find something.
Attention, the better. Bloody seagulls! Can you hear me? You flying a keep by the sea. What a great idea that was. I'm fixated. Me! Oh, you didn't see what they did to me a week ago. I was just standing watch as usual, and then, suddenly, splat. A dozen of them So, I yelled what I think about them, shaking my fist. And then another 4. Splat! And I tell you, they're laughing at me. I spent all night cleaning my armor. Sewell didn't think it through when he decided where... And I don't like how you seem to think I'm a fool. So, what now? Should I shit on you for that? I don't think so. I once managed to shoot a few. I thought they'd learned their lesson and wouldn't be flying over here anymore. And... guess what they did? They kept shitting. With increased... I need to try a different strategy. Find something that will... like the way crows are afraid of scarecrows in fields. I'm sure seagulls also have something that scares them. We just need to... Thank you. I just need you to bring me some kind of a bird scarer. They'll learn their lesson. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's anyone crazy enough to take up something like this. But there is one guy in the museum. Riderick. I need, like, a fee. I'm not asking you to hunt down a monstrosity from Grubwood. Ah, whatever. As you wish. You'll get your fee. I just need you to bring me some... I don't know. There is one...
What's the fee? Your feet and my priceless seedlings. I swear your nosiness will be the death of you. I have everything. And you, the fly in the... I'm Owen. It's safe. I can keep an eye on it, and I can chase off the seagulls. And when the weirdness comes, and the dead start rising up from their graves, then I'll... No, I can handle a few seagulls. I'm not... I let Rark in. He doesn't talk so much. My hoe in your skull would be worth 1,000 words. Always. You need...
I should stay out of trouble.
Were you at the... Yeah. Sleep, damn it, is the worst son of a bitch I ever fought. No sleeping, though. The service is eternal. Where would we be if Seawall took naps all the time? I shut my eyes for about 15 minutes every day. Sometimes 20. Besides, a true keeper doesn't sleep, but I'm not gonna lie. That potion from Eber, our physician, works. You could stand on the walls all day and night and not even think about... What? Listen, pal, I never asked. I just came in the evenings when I was getting sleepy and took it. And then Yan put it somewhere else. Keeper's vigor. Good stuff. Shows what you know. Once more, call to serve.
Just passing through? Good.